This is Bob Beach again. I'm going to give you some tips on the fundamentals of golf so you can develop a golf swing. And that's your goal in golf. You want, basically, if you work on these three fundamentals I'm going to tell you now, the better you get those fundamentals down, you're going to develop a golf swing. And then that's how you're going to become a better golfer. You just try to develop a swing. You don't want to be thinking about everything, but your goal is to develop a swinging motion with this club. So the first would be how to hold the golf club. And you basically just want to let your arms hang, and so when your arms hang, they kind of relax and turn in and just kind of move the club into the fingers like that. And the key part, I would say, is to make sure that you're gripping in the fingers versus in the middle of your hand or your palm. You don't want to be gripping like that because you can't pick the club up and your wrist won't work right. So you want to get it in the fingers where your arm hangs and just let the heel of the hand, this pad, come like that so you can just pick it up. See, it's right under there, right under the heel of my hand. And that's what you want, nice and light. That's probably the most important thing. If you have it under that heel, to your wrist hinge. If I have it in the palm, it doesn't. So I correct. A lot of times when I make a correction in the way someone's holding the club, if it's a little in the palm like that, see the wrist on, you can't get the club to swing up. So you have to fix that. And I just get them to turn it more so it's on top. And they can just, a good way of doing it, I can pick the club up nice and easy like that. Versus if it's in my palm, say I have to body it. Palm is more like what you do with a bat or a racket. The handle of a golf club with the grip is very narrow. So that's why it's designed to go more in the fingers. So bring it up like that, under the heel, that's the key thing. Then just come in with your right hand, move it in. And the key thing is this lifeline in your right hand. Right there. I want to grip down and just slide that lifeline so it's up over my thumb. And there would be my good position of the right hand. Both hands are just on like that. And nice light grip pressure. If the grip pressure is light, see the club will swing itself. It'll swing itself. If I'm tight, see body movement. So the key thing is grip it in the fingers, nice and light, and so that you can feel the weight in the head of the club. And then you can allow the club to work on a circle. The golf swing is an arc to it. Just like then once you have your hands, this is a great way to bring it up like this, because your hands naturally come together. You can feel that lightness. And then say, like I said before, you say, where am I going? And you look. And if I want to go to the right, see, I turn to the right, and that's where I'm going to point my club. If I want to go to the left, I look to the left, and that's where I point my club. If I want to go to center, that's the way to do it, just like that. Because that's something you can, if you watch the top players, you see them on TV, they always have their hands, then they look, they point the club, then they get in the stance. You don't want to get in your stance and then have to move around. So the key thing is always, after your hands are on the club, you say, where do I want to go? And you look, you know to point the club that way. Okay? And the last one, so that's the second fundamental once you have your hands on, is aim. And we showed you aim, you just point the club where you want to go. You want to go, you turn the club, your body follows. So your body's more of a follower to what the club's doing. That'll really help you focusing on that. That's when I started to score much better. Because the ball was basically going where I was aiming. And it's just a lot of times when a good player finishes a round, they have a good round, what they'll say is, I hit it where I was looking. Hit it where I was aiming. And that's your goal. So always aim. That's a key thing. Don't hit a golf shot unless you're aiming at a target. So we have the hands. Where am I going? Let's say I want to go left, I start to turn that way. And the last thing we're going to talk about is stance. Stance is, it's basically get your feet under your shoulders, because that's where your balance is going to be the best. And you can be, some people will be a little narrow or some a little wide. There's room for preference in golf. Every swing is a little different. But start with your feet under your shoulders. And see, we can't, I helped, it's kind of funny, I did some lessons coaching a blind golfer. And he didn't understand what the circle meant. This helped him understand the circle, so I'm going to show you. We did a baseball swing. Always grounded out in baseball. And we did down by the knees, and then down by the ankles. And it's still a circular motion. It's just the spine has changed from being straight up to a little tilted to a little more tilted. Almost like a tilt-a-whirl versus a Ferris wheel. So you need that tilt, because you've got to get down there. So with your feet shoulders distance, you don't bend your knees. What you do is you move your hips back, tilt forward, and let your arms down. You're very athletic. It's an athletic ready position. This is my hips are back. That allows me to tilt forward and hang my arms. There's a good example of the stance. Turn a little so you see the different angles. You're pushing your hips back and your butt slightly up. It's counterbalancing. So your back here, that allows you to tilt forward and be balanced. And the benefactor of that are the arms. The arms hang. The arms hang. I'll give you a funny story. I do some clinics in the spring from my deck for Special Olympics. And they were all watching, and one of the athletes said, "You look like a monkey." And, you know, it is. Well, I'm athletic ready, but if that's what you want, if that works for you, that's fine. There's the position. There's only two things down in the proper stance: the arms hanging and the eyes looking. The mistake is sometimes you get the head. Now the head is it's going to tend to move. Your back should match the angle of this club. Here's good posture. Some of the best players in the world, they have great posture. They all have that athletic ready position. And the arms are nice and wide now. You don't see a lot of this anymore. The arms pushed together. I think at one time I tried to do that or taught like that. But see, it's very restrictive and narrow. What good golfers have in their game is freedom. They have freedom. You've got to get some freedom in your swing. So what you do is, again, there's a couple ways of doing it. Well, this is one way to do it, to get into that stance. Get your feet shoulders distance, get your elbows into your ribs, and just move your hips back as you tilt forward and hang your arms. It's a good little tip for you. A Special Olympic athlete I had the privilege of coaching, I still work with him, Kevin Reardon. He does this every time. We call it the Kevin Reardon move. He's a young man with Down syndrome. He's an incredible person. He's here, and he does this move. And guess what? All the other athletes imitate him. So it's pretty funny. And effective too, because the wrong way to do it is to spend too long over the ball. So that's a good way to practice. Like, you know, sometimes people will move the body in this way. There's different ways of doing it. You find what works for you. Feet together, move each foot, and get into the stance. It's athletic ready though. It's very athletic. That's the best thing I can say about it. And your arms and eyes are the only thing down. And that allows you to make the swing in motion. Okay? And what you want to do is incorporate those. Remember, one ball at a time. There you go. A lot of the times the players will always come, you'll see them, this happens all the time, they come from behind the golf ball. Because see, if they want to go left, they favor the right side, and then see how that helps me to aim to the left? Or if they wanted to go to the right, see they come in from the left side, and that helps me to point the club face to the right. So you can aim better. So, you know, you can be talking with your friends and enjoying the round, but when it's your turn though, take a deep breath and start your simple process. A routine is very important in golf because it's your way of concentrating. Better players than us don't hit the ball better because they see the ball better. They swing the club better. So you need a process. Almost a good analogy is what in basketball, what a free throw shooter does. They don't practice their shot like this, give me the ball, coach. They do it the same in the game every in the practice as they do in the game. And that's what you want in golf too. It's a way of they're focusing on the process of making a good shot. In golf, we have to focus on the process of making a good shot. So the process is, let's say I take a deep breath and bring my hands up to this position, and I say, where am I going? Point the club. I get comfortable in my stance. And make my little swing. Just like that. See, when you get another ball, that process will really help you. That's how you concentrate through the process. A lot of times they'll say after a round, remember I said this before too about they hit it where they want. They'll say, oh, I stayed in the present. I didn't get ahead of myself. I stayed in the present. I hit one shot at a time. That's how they do it. They have a process. Sometimes you'll see them on TV do this. What? If they take a practice swing, it'll usually be something like this. This is a good point too. Off the ground. Just always feel the circle when you swing. At half speed. This Tiger Woods. Unfortunately, the Tiger Wood imitation ends there. But the wrong way, what's this? If I tried to hit this little lead, I don't know how good that camera is, Ben, but there's the lead. See, watch, this is why I used to, I'm trying to hit it too much. See it? See, that's not a circle. See the difference? I'm going to hit the top of the ball off. So good players, this is a really good tip. Imitate, again, watch them. And just watch how they're out. When you swing above the ground, you always feel the circle, and the head of the club always lags. See, it's always the last thing for it. When I'm trying to hit at something, it's the first thing for it. A little more of a chop. So sometimes, on TV you'll see some players do this, what? They aim first. Always be hitting something. Point the club. It's club face at the time. Then they slip their hands on. Then they get in the stance. And when they're comfortable, they make a little. You can do that if you want. But I would suggest, I would say more do it the way I first showed you. Because if you're a beginner and working on your hands, you know, do that first. Because that's going to take you the longest. And try to get some comfort. Here's a good tip for juniors out there. When I first started teaching, I didn't like hands separated. And sometimes I've realized through teaching, this is a good tip for the juniors and parents. That's sometimes a young child, that's the only way they can support the club. And it's not such a bad thing because it helps the club to come around and release versus not releasing. Feel the club is staying open and going to the right, that's what causes the slice. It's going to come around up over your shoulder on the circle. Unfortunately in golf, it can also come around too much. Make the ball go left. Let me hit one of those where it goes left. So I'm aiming straight. Get comfortable in my stance. See the face close too much. See the face? It came around too much. That makes the ball go left. I'm going to make one go to the right. 4 on the track. All right, so start the routine. Hands. Where am I going? Aim straight. Get comfortable in my stance. If you're not comfortable, get out of it. Take a deep breath. Step back in. Minimizing your time off. This one, the club face is aim to the target. Watch what happens to the club face. Open. Face is open. It didn't go to center field. It went to right field. You've got to let it come around. You've got to feel that. It's all feel. Sometimes if I'm holding it too tight, that'll make it do that. That's probably 9 out of 10 golfers, myself included, we tend to go to the right or slice the ball. So here's a good tip too. Sometimes when you see a good player on TV miss a shot, they'll go, oh, I felt that club face open. And then they'll correct it right then. And then they just get back into their routine. Let's try to hit another straight one. Even if I hit 2 bad shots in a row, you know what you have to do in golf? You say, that's all right, that's what good players do. Next one's going to be good. You always have to feel like the next shot is going to be a good shot. Take that deep breath, forget about the previous 2 shots. Take maybe a longer look at your target here. This is good. And then keep it in your head, your mind's eye. Jack Nicklaus used to do that. His caddy, Angelo. I loved Angelo. He had a big afro. He was a Las Vegas taxi driver. That's what Jack got him. And he used to say to Jack Nicklaus, get a picture. Get a picture. That's the last thing he told him. In other words, he's telling him to look. Really be looking. And point the club where you're looking. The face of the club, the center of the club face. Where you're looking. Then, see, and I'm comfortable in my stance. I'm looking at the ball, but in my mind, I see the target. does my club release? See the difference? When it releases to the swing, it's wider. If I leave it open, it's narrower, not as much of a way. And if I come around too much, if I do it the right way, you'll feel that natural weight shift. So that's pretty much the full swing. I definitely watch the LPGA and PGA Tour and find a player that, and watch what they do and imitate their processes. It will really help you. It's been my pleasure. I hope you enjoy the video, and I hope you can come out and join us for some of the instruction next season. Thank you.